Did you know that 42% of people in the US have never been in a serious relationship by the time they're 30? Or that loneliness has become as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, according to recent studies? These shocking facts show that finding love isn't always as easy as it seems, even though everyone craves it. If you've ever felt like you're missing out, or wonder why you haven't found the right person yet, you're not alone. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the hidden truths behind love and relationships that no one talks about. You'll discover why craving love is a normal feeling, but how you can turn that craving into action and real connection. We'll cover how to stop fearing rejection, how to love yourself first, and how to attract the right kind of partner. Ready to learn the strategies that will help you create the love you've been looking for? Let's start this journey together. Chapter 1: Craving Love or Craving Validation? Let's start with a tough question. Are you craving love or simply craving validation? It's a fine line, and it's important to understand the difference. Research from the University of California found that people who seek love for validation are often less satisfied with their relationships because they don't have a solid sense of self. Instead of looking to someone else to complete you, it's crucial to build your own sense of worth first. When we seek love out of need, we often overlook what truly makes us happy. Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, a leading researcher on positive emotions, argues that we must first nurture our own emotional health before we can give or receive love effectively. So, before diving into a relationship, ask yourself, am I looking for someone to fill a void, or am I already happy with who I am? If you find yourself constantly seeking attention or approval from others, it might be time for some self-reflection. Reframe your view of relationships. Instead of seeing them as a source of validation, look at them as an opportunity for connection, companionship, and growth. Here's the thing: focusing on self-love doesn't mean being selfish or isolating yourself. According to the American Psychological Association, people who develop strong self-love tend to have healthier, more satisfying relationships. Why? Because they enter relationships as whole, confident individuals rather than relying on their partner to fix them. Take time to ask, what do I truly want out of love? And how can I nurture my own happiness before expecting someone else to bring it to me? Chapter 2: The Art of Self-Discovery. Loving yourself first. Loving yourself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. How can you expect someone to love you if you don't love yourself first? In his best-selling book The Gifts of Imperfection, Dr. Brené Brown writes, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. Loving yourself requires vulnerability and courage, but it's one of the most rewarding investments you can make. Research from the University of North Carolina supports this idea, showing that people who practice self-compassion are more likely to form lasting, healthy relationships. This happens because self-compassion builds emotional resilience and self-confidence, qualities that attract the right kind of love. So, how can you begin this journey of self-love? Start by setting boundaries that respect your needs. A person who values their time and energy will never settle for a relationship that doesn't match their worth. It's also important to practice gratitude. According to a study by Dr. Robert Emmons, people who keep a gratitude journal report feeling more positive emotions and having stronger relationships. By appreciating your own life, you become more attractive to others. Moreover, embrace your imperfections. We all have flaws, but those flaws are what make us human. Dr. Kristen Neff, a pioneer in the field of self-compassion, explains that acknowledging and accepting your imperfections is crucial for both self-love and attracting a healthy relationship. So, instead of seeing your weaknesses as barriers, view them as beautiful parts of your unique story. Self-love isn't about narcissism, it's about being content with who you are, which makes you a more confident and compassionate partner. When you love yourself, you naturally invite love into your life. Chapter 3: Why being single can be your superpower. Let's challenge a common myth: being single is not a curse. In fact, being single can be one of the best opportunities for personal growth. The Journal of Social and Personal Relationships published a study that shows single people report higher levels of personal happiness and self-satisfaction than those in unhealthy relationships. It's clear, single life doesn't mean loneliness, it means freedom and growth. When you're single, you have the time to focus on your passions, career, and personal goals. According to data from the Pew Research Center, People who are single often have a better work-life balance and enjoy more time for hobbies. You get to explore new interests, travel, and learn more about yourself than you could if you were in a relationship. Moreover, being single lets you develop skills that make you a better partner. As Dr. Gary Chapman, author of The 5 Love Languages, notes, you can't give what you don't have. By spending time alone, you can learn how to communicate better, understand your own needs, and discover what you truly want in a relationship. Being single also allows you to develop emotional independence. You won't rely on someone else for happiness, and this makes you more attractive in the long run. When you're emotionally independent, you're more likely to enter a relationship as a whole, healthy individual, ready to contribute rather than depend. And here's the most empowering part, you get to decide when and whom to let into your life. You have control. You don't have to settle for just anyone. You can choose someone who aligns with your values, goals, and vision for the future. So, instead of viewing being single as a waiting period, see it as your time to prepare for the relationship you deserve. Being single is a powerful tool for self-discovery, and it sets the foundation for a healthy, fulfilling partnership when the time is right. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips on building self-love and attracting healthy relationships. Chapter 4: Breaking Free from the Fear of Rejection. Rejection is tough, but it doesn't have to define you. Fear of rejection often holds us back from making connections, but overcoming this fear is essential for finding love. According to psychologist Dr. Guy Winch, rejection activates the same areas in the brain as physical pain. However, the good news is that with practice, we can reduce this emotional pain. One strategy for overcoming fear of rejection is reframing your mindset. Instead of seeing rejection as a failure, view it as a learning experience. Research from the University of Michigan shows that people who embrace rejection as part of growth are more likely to develop resilience and ultimately succeed in building relationships. Every no brings you one step closer to a yes. It's important to understand that rejection doesn't reflect your worth. Dr. Mark Leary, a professor at Duke University, explains that rejection is often about timing or circumstances, not about who you are as a person. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who are less sensitive to rejection tend to have higher self-esteem and healthier relationships. To combat rejection anxiety, try stepping outside your comfort zone regularly. Whether it's approaching someone new or asking for a date, the more you face rejection, the easier it becomes to move past it. You'll discover that rejection is a normal part of life, and it doesn't diminish your value. Practice self-compassion when you do experience rejection. Instead of beating yourself up, be kind to yourself. A study from the University of Oxford found that self-compassion can actually make you less anxious and more confident when dealing with rejection. You'll bounce back faster and approach future situations with a healthier mindset. Remember, every rejection is a redirection. It's not the end of the world, it's simply part of the process of finding the right person. Keep trying, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing that your worth isn't determined by someone else's response. Chapter 5: The Secret Ingredients for Lasting Attraction. Attraction isn't just about looks, it's about connection. While physical attraction may spark initial interest, research from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships reveals that shared values, emotional intelligence, and vulnerability are far more important for long-term attraction. It's these deeper qualities that create lasting bonds between people. The key ingredient in lasting attraction is emotional intelligence. According to Dr. Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, individuals with high emotional intelligence are more successful in relationships because they understand and manage their own emotions while empathizing with others. People are drawn to those who can listen, empathize, and respond thoughtfully. Another secret to lasting attraction is authenticity. Trying to be someone you're not may give you short-term attention, but it won't lead to deep, meaningful connections. In her book Braving the Wilderness, Dr. Brené Brown states, "When we are brave enough to be vulnerable, we are able to build deep, lasting connections. People want to see the real you, not a version that's been altered to impress." Vulnerability also plays a huge role. Being open and vulnerable creates trust and emotional intimacy. A study published in Psychological Science found that couples who share personal, vulnerable stories are more likely to stay together because it fosters a sense of closeness and understanding. Another powerful attraction factor is shared values. In a study conducted by the University of Denver, couples who share core values, such as views on family, career, and lifestyle, are significantly more likely to have long-lasting, successful relationships. Find someone who aligns with your beliefs and priorities, and the attraction will be natural and enduring. Lastly, take care of your physical and mental health. This isn't about perfection but about feeling good in your own skin. People are naturally drawn to individuals who are healthy, vibrant, and confident. As Dr. John Gottman, a relationship expert, notes, a healthy self-esteem is contagious. When you feel good about yourself, others feel good about you. Chapter 6, From Craving Love to Creating It. Now that we've covered self-love, emotional intelligence, and lasting attraction, it's time to turn your craving for love into action. Love doesn't just happen, it's something you can actively create by making choices, setting intentions, and putting yourself out there. Research from Harvard University shows that people who take proactive steps in building connections are more likely to find meaningful relationships. Start by becoming more social. Studies have found that the more people you meet and connect with, the higher your chances of finding a compatible partner. According to a study by the University of Pennsylvania, social engagement and networking are key factors in meeting potential partners. Whether it's joining a club, attending social events, or volunteering, getting out there increases your odds of making meaningful connections. Next, practice effective communication. Dr. John Gottman, in his book The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, emphasizes that communication is the cornerstone of any successful relationship. Learn how to listen actively, express yourself clearly, and resolve conflicts respectfully. These skills are crucial for forming healthy, long-term partnerships. Another powerful strategy is to stay open-minded. According to a study published in Psychological Science, people who approach relationships with curiosity and flexibility are more likely to find lasting love. Don't close yourself off to potential partners just because they don't fit your ideal image. Sometimes, the best relationships come from unexpected places. Be patient. Love takes time. In The Truth About Love, Dr. Pat Love reminds us that relationships require effort and patience. It's easy to get discouraged if things don't happen right away, but true love is built over time, with trust and commitment. Keep putting yourself out there, and remember that finding love is a journey, not a race. Finally, take responsibility for your actions. Don't wait for love to come to you, create the conditions for it to flourish. Put in the effort, build your confidence, and seek out opportunities for connection. According to The Social Animal by David Brooks, people who take responsibility for their own happiness and relationships are more successful at finding and maintaining love. If you enjoyed these tips, make sure to subscribe for more actionable advice on creating the relationship of your dreams. Stay tuned for more ways to build love from the inside out.